What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So today I wanted to talk about, as you can tell in the title of the video, we're gonna be talking about 5, I guess, like embarrassing changes that happened after I lost all of my weight. Before we get into the video, I wanna make it very clear that I am not trying to make fun of anybody that might be still overweight. These are just changes that happened to me that I thought were worth noting and I thought you guys might enjoy and you know, hopefully get a laugh out of. If you're watching my channel, you're most likely trying to change the fact that if you are overweight, right? You're trying to change that fact. So hopefully this video will, you know, maybe give you some more motivation, but again, I am not at all trying to bash anyone that might be overweight right now. So jumping straight into it, the first change happens in the bathroom. It is a lot easier to wipe myself after going to the bathroom, and I don't mean just like physically, obviously it's much easier, but it takes a lot less wipes. Like when I used to go to the bathroom before, it would take me forever, like after I would go to the bathroom to wipe myself. Like I would have to, like, you know, take a little bit off the roll, wipe myself, you know, I check it, oh, there's still more on there, like take a little bit more off the roll, check it, there's still, like, I was in there for a while wiping. And another thing that had happened was I had to wipe with my arm like in front like this, right? Like I wouldn't go behind, I had to go in front. And I literally like had to make it so my arm could get there. I had to sit on like my arm, and like that's the only way that I was able to wipe. Now I don't have to do that, but yeah, definitely the first change that kind of embarrassing, but it is a lot easier after the bathroom to finish up. The second difference, this is actually staying in the bathroom as well, is how long it takes me to shower. So when I was bigger, I don't know if it was like personally, like I felt like I really needed to scrub everything because I was worried, because I always felt like people assumed you would smell when you were overweight. Like I felt like people just assumed that I smelled. So in my head I was like, okay, I need to scrub myself really, really good every time I shower because I don't want to ever smell, because I feel like people are like really gonna judge me, and they're really gonna be like, of course, see, that guy smells, you know what I mean? So my showers would take forever. But I think a part of that was I was just a bigger individual, so I would have to shower for a while. There was a song that I listened to, I forget the name of it, if you guys know this song, but he says like it was a bigger rapper, he was like an overweight rapper, and he says, you know a big dude gotta hop up in the shower, you already know it took about an hour. And I remember like I heard that line and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. My friends even were like, that's you, because when I would shower, it took me forever. Now it doesn't take me that long to shower at all. I can get in and out in like 5 minutes. You know, I get what I need to get done. It doesn't take it all as long, but it definitely used to take me a lot longer to shower when I was overweight. The third thing actually has to do with my skin. Now I'm not talking about like my loose skin after losing weight. You guys have seen videos about that, but actually how dry my skin is. So when I was overweight, my elbows and my knees were very dry, and I would moisturize as much as I could, but they were like to a point where like my elbows and my knees especially too, they were like discolored. So they were starting to turn kind of like black, and they were literally so dry and scratchy that like if I were to like lean against somebody and like rub them, I had a couple people like, what the heck was that? Was that like sandpaper? Like, and they weren't trying to be mean, but they were just confused, and I was like, no, that's my elbow. And it was so dry to a point where it literally would like crack and it would start bleeding and stuff. So now I definitely don't have to deal with that. I mean, I still moisturize and everything, and I use lotion. I love lotion, but it's definitely gotten a lot better, and I'm really happy for that. And then another thing was my feet in between my toes was starting to scab a lot, and I've heard that a lot of people that deal with diabetes and stuff like that, I was pre-diabetic, deal with, you know, loss of circulation in their limbs, like their hands start to do that, and as well as their feet, and that was definitely something that was scary. So that's something that's been reversed as well. But yeah, definitely like my skin has gotten a lot less dry after losing the weight. Now number 4 is actually more of a mental thing that's changed. So before, I've talked about this a couple times, but before when I was overweight, I had like 2 extremes. I was either very quiet and tried to kind of disappear and not have anybody notice me, or I was very loud and obnoxious, and I tried to let everyone know I was in the room. I tried to let everyone know that, hey, I'm here, I'm the funny fat guy. Like that was my persona. And I actually have, you know, I have this tattoo on my calf because of it, right? My nickname in high school was Cupcake, and I just tried to be as loud and obnoxious as possible. And I've noticed that since I've lost the weight, I still have both of those personality sides, but I feel like I'm not as extreme on each side. Like, I'm not super crazy quiet unless I'm like having a really bad day, obviously, and then I'm not super crazy. I feel like I fall a little bit more in the middle, and I'm there more consistently. When I was overweight, I was very much like either one side or the other, the extremes. That's all that I was. There was no in between for me, and now I feel like I'm definitely more in the in between. And I feel like that just comes with, I think a lot of that kind of comes with age too. I mean, it's been 5 years since I've lost the weight, so obviously when you go from 20 to 25, you change a lot mentally just in anyways, right, without even any weight loss in there. But I think personally, like, I'm more confident with who I am and what I love and what I do, that I don't feel like I need to make everybody like me. Like, if some people don't like me, that's fine with me. I understand not everybody's gonna like everybody. But for me, when I was overweight, like, I would go into situations assuming nobody there is gonna like me because I was overweight. Now, that's obviously not true, and that's not a good way to think about it, but that's how I felt. And in my mind, I felt like I need, like, kind of like a comedian, right? You wanna win the crowd over. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I felt like I was always trying to win the crowd over. It was either I have to win the crowd over or I have to avoid the crowd and like just try and like don't let anybody notice me at all. So like that's kind of where I lived, and now it's definitely a lot different. Like, I'm just like, if people like me, they like me. If they don't, that's fine. And you know, I'm able to just move on with my life. And the fifth thing, I actually saved this for last on purpose because you probably noticed it during this video, is I sweat a lot more actually now that I've lost weight than I did before. And it's funny because I was so much more worried about sweating before than I am now. Like, if people catch me sweating now, like, it literally doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, I sweat a lot, like, it's no big deal. But before, again, it's like you just assume when you're overweight that people are thinking in their heads, of course that guy's sweating. I was so self-conscious about how much I sweat, to a point where I always wore undershirts, always. Like, no matter how hot it was, I didn't ever wear tank tops, obviously. I always wore an undershirt, a wife beater, under all of my t-shirts, because one, I was able to tuck it in, and I've kind of talked about this recently. I felt like it kind of pushed my belly down a little bit, but a big other reason was because it would catch a lot of the sweat that I had before it would get onto my, you know, my shirt that people could see. So I literally always wore an undershirt. Now, I mean, I'm not wearing an undershirt right now, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm sweating, I'm filming this video, like, I'm not that worried about it. I think a lot of that has to do with how much I'm working out now, and you know, they say that like the more muscle I have, the more fit you are, the more you sweat, and I definitely agree with that, at least from my own anecdotal evidence and personal experience, because I sweat so much more, and it really doesn't bother me. Sometimes it's annoying, and I definitely wish I didn't sweat as much as I do, because it can be definitely annoying when you like you go to the gym in a shirt and it's literally like you get done with the gym and you have to wring it out to put it in your gym bag because it's just literally that wet. But it's not like I'm self-conscious about that, or like I don't think about, oh, what's this person think of me because I'm sweating so much. And actually just decided I'm gonna throw a bonus one in there. A lot of people ask me about my tattoos, so I wanna make it very clear. The only tattoos that I had before I lost weight was the ones that are on my forearms. So this one right here and this one right here. Those didn't change very much. Now, I would say that I think this one takes up a little bit more room, like especially like this way it's kind of the same, but as far as like how the rays come down this far here and they go up a little bit more there, I would say that that's changed a little bit. But as far as like dealing with any stretch marks, anything like that, I haven't had any issues. But I want to make it very clear that I think if I got them pretty much anywhere else on my body, I would be having issues, except for maybe on my calves. So if I got any of these tattoos before I had lost weight, I really think that they would look a little bit different. Or if I got any tattoos, especially like on my chest or on my back or anything like that, I think I would have issues there. But as far as like the colors and as far as anything like that, like I haven't had any issues for my tattoos changing. But again, I think everybody's a little bit different, but I kind of wanted to bring that up because that's a question that I get a ton of. So there you guys go, 5 embarrassing, it's not that embarrassing, changes that happened to me after losing weight, and one little extra one thrown in there. I know I'm sweating a lot, I apologize, but like I said in the video, I sweat a lot, and it's just how it is. But I want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. I would love it if you're someone that has lost a lot of weight, if you have maybe add-ons to this. I think that would be kind of cool to hear other people's stories of, you know, embarrassing changes, or it doesn't even have to be embarrassing, right? Just changes after losing a lot of weight. I think it would be kind of cool to hear from you guys, and maybe it'll give me an idea for a video, because there might be things that I didn't even think about, right? But again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs And when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.